In this story, we are going to talk about the Voynich Manuscript, the book no one can read. If you like lost and mysterious history, please subscribe and like Lost and Explained TV. Imagine opening a book that is more than 500 years old. Its pages are filled with strange plants that do not seem to exist. Circular maps of unknown stars, human figures bathing inside mysterious green pools, and thousands of carefully written words in an alphabet found nowhere else on Earth. The handwriting looks deliberate. The illustrations appear organized. The book seems to contain knowledge. But there is one major problem. No one can read it. For more than a century, cryptographers, historians, linguists, scientists, and amateur codebreakers have attempted to understand its secrets. Some believe it contains lost medical knowledge. Others think it is written in a forgotten language. And some suspect the entire book may be an elaborate medieval hoax. This is the mystery of the Voynich Manuscript, the book no one can read. The modern story of the manuscript begins in 1912. A Polish-American rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich purchased a collection of old manuscripts from a Jesuit college near Rome. Among them was a strange illustrated book unlike anything he had ever seen. Its pages were made from animal skin. Its writing appeared to flow from left to right, but the symbols did not match Latin, Greek, Arabic, Hebrew, or any other known writing system. Voynich believed he had discovered something extraordinary. Inside the book was a letter written in 1666. The letter said that the manuscript had once belonged to Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, a ruler fascinated by alchemy, astrology, magic, and mysterious objects. According to the letter, Rudolph had supposedly purchased the book for 600 gold ducats, a considerable fortune. He may have believed it was written by the medieval English philosopher Roger Bacon, but there was no proof. And Roger Bacon had died long before the material used to create the manuscript was made. The book eventually became known not for its unknown author, but for the man who brought it back into public view, Wilfrid Voynich. For years, researchers argued over the manuscript's age. Some believed it was genuinely medieval. Others suspected that it had been created much later and made to look old. Then, scientists tested small samples of its parchment using radiocarbon dating. The results placed the animal skin between approximately 1404 and 1438. That means the parchment was produced during the early 1400s, decades before Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic, and centuries before Wilfrid Voynich discovered the book. Chemical analysis also found inks and pigments generally consistent with materials used in historical European manuscripts. This does not tell us exactly when every word was written, but it makes one thing clear. The Voynich manuscript is not simply a modern fake created to fool 20th century collectors. Someone in the distant past invested an enormous amount of time, material, and effort into making it. The question is why? The surviving manuscript contains more than 200 pages, including several large fold-out sheets. Researchers usually divide it into sections based on the illustrations. The largest section is filled with drawings of plants. Some look almost familiar, but their roots, leaves, and flowers often seem to belong to completely different species combined into one. Another section contains circular astronomical and astrological diagrams. There are stars, moons, suns, zodiac symbols, and rings filled with tiny human figures. Then the book becomes even stranger. Dozens of unclothed women appear inside green or blue pools. Some are connected by tubes. Others stand inside shapes resembling baths, vessels, or parts of the human body. Another section shows roots, leaves, and containers that resemble medieval medicine jars. The final pages contain dense blocks of writing. Small star-shaped symbols appear beside short paragraphs, making the section look almost like a collection of recipes or instructions. The illustrations suggest botany, medicine, astronomy, astrology, or perhaps all of them combined. But without understanding the writing, every interpretation remains uncertain. The manuscript's alphabet is sometimes informally called Voynichese. It contains repeating symbols, recognizable word patterns, and structured lines of text. Certain symbols appear more often at the beginnings or endings of words. Some words repeat. Others appear mainly in specific sections of the manuscript. That makes the writing look organized rather than random. But it also behaves differently from most familiar languages. There is no confirmed alphabet, no translation, no known author, and no second document written in the same script. Normally, an unknown language can be decoded by comparing it with something familiar. The Rosetta Stone helped scholars understand Egyptian hieroglyphs because the same message appeared in multiple writing systems. The Voynich Manuscript offers no such key. Researchers do not know whether the symbols represent letters, syllables, numbers, abbreviations, or entire ideas. They do not even know whether the manuscript hides an existing language beneath a cipher. Trying to decode it is like solving a locked puzzle without knowing the language of the instructions, or what the finished picture is supposed to look like. One theory is that the manuscript contains a real message, protected by encryption. During the Renaissance, rulers, diplomats, scientists, and religious officials sometimes used ciphers to conceal sensitive information. The Voynich Manuscript may have protected medical formulas, forbidden ideas, alchemical experiments, or knowledge intended for a small group. But simple substitution methods do not seem to work. Replacing each Voynich symbol with a regular letter has never produced a convincing translation. More complicated systems have also failed to provide a complete solution that other experts can independently repeat. Over the years, people have claimed that the manuscript was written in Latin, Hebrew, Arabic, early German, or numerous other languages. Many announcements have declared that the mystery was finally solved, but none has produced a translation accepted by the wider scholarly community. The book remains unread. The illustrations may provide the strongest clue. Medieval herbal manuscripts often described plants, medicines, treatments, and methods of preparing ingredients. The Voynich Manuscript may be a medical reference book written for a physician, herbalist, healer, or apothecary. The bathing figures could represent treatments involving water. The tubes might symbolize parts of the body. The astronomical charts may have been used to determine when medicines should be prepared or treatments performed. In medieval Europe, medicine and astrology were often connected. Some physicians believed that the movement of planets and stars affected the human body. The manuscript could therefore combine herbal medicine, astronomy, reproduction, and bathing practices into one complicated guide. However, most of its plants cannot be confidently identified, and without reading the labels, it is impossible to know whether the drawings show real species, symbolic combinations, or imaginary plants. Another possibility is that the manuscript says nothing at all. Perhaps its creator invented meaningless symbols and mysterious pictures to make the book appear valuable. A convincing book of secret knowledge could have been sold to a wealthy collector, especially someone like Emperor Rudolph, who was deeply interested in rare and unusual objects. But creating the Voynich Manuscript would have required a significant amount of expensive parchment, ink, pigments, planning, and labor. Its text also contains patterns that are difficult to dismiss as completely random. If it was a hoax, it was an incredibly elaborate one. And if the goal was simply to make money, why create hundreds of pages when a shorter, mysterious document might have been enough? The hoax theory is possible, but it creates almost as many questions as it answers. Perhaps the manuscript was never encrypted. It may be written in a language that disappeared before it was recorded anywhere else. It could also use a personal shorthand system, understood only by its creator or a small community. The author may have invented symbols to record private knowledge quickly. Or the book could use a constructed language designed for philosophy, religion, medicine, or secrecy. If that community vanished, the key to reading the manuscript may have vanished with it. Then they once have been people who could read every page easily. They may have understood the plants. They may have recognized the diagrams. They may have known exactly what the women, pools, stars, and strange machines represented. But their knowledge did not survive. Today, the Voynich Manuscript is preserved at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library. High-resolution images allow anyone to examine its pages. Computers can measure its patterns. Scientists can study its materials. Linguists can compare its symbols with thousands of languages. But technology has not yet revealed its meaning. Perhaps the answer is hidden inside an extremely complicated cipher. Perhaps the manuscript records the only surviving example of a forgotten language. Perhaps it is a medical guide, an astronomical reference, a private notebook, or a brilliant medieval deception? Or perhaps we have been asking the wrong questions from the beginning. The Voynich Manuscript has survived for more than 5 centuries. Its author is gone. Its original readers are gone. And whatever knowledge it once contained remains trapped behind an alphabet no one can understand. So what do you think? Is the Voynich Manuscript a real book of lost knowledge, an unbroken secret code, or one of the most elaborate hoaxes ever created? Share your theory in the comments and subscribe to Lost and Explained TV for more mysteries buried beneath history.